Welcome back to vapereviewswithaz. So today we're going to be taking a look at the Taifun GT flown by Infinite. Once again provided by Angelfiremods for the purpose of review, so thank you very much. It's going to be a build video today. I was going to do two builds, but I'm just going to do a stainless steel mesh build today. At the moment it's at 0.77 with a cotton and microcoil build. Really nice flavour. Stock airflow is a bit tight, but as this isn't my own atomizer, I don't want to go pulling the airflow tube out and squashing the tube. So yeah, I'm going to take a little vape. As I say, cotton microcoil 0.77. As you can see, there's a ton of vapour in there, but that's a higher PG liquid in here. But flavour's really good, and I know people don't like people saying it, but in my opinion, it's better than a K-Fun. So with that being said, I'm going to take another little vape, and then we're going to dive down in close. Right then guys, so here we are with the up close of the Taifun GT. So if you want to get hold of one of these, head over to angelfiremods.co.uk and they are doing them for £29.99. So right, this is the box it comes in, which is an exact copy of the original. So Taifun on the front, repairable atomizer, made in Germany, nothing else. So when you receive the atomizer, you also get a bag of spares, which is various size O-rings, some cam file, some wick, an extra airflow tube for adjusting the airflow. This is a tighter one. And then you'll also receive the Taifun itself. So the Taifun GT is a 23mm atomizer. Has a it's all stainless steel, and then a stainless steel and polycarbonate tank. It'll hold 5 millilitres of e-liquid. Has an adjustable 510 pin, which is spring loaded, and it's for single coil, silica, cotton, mesh, whatever you want to use really. So I'm going to try not to spend too much time because I know there's a lot of reviews. So there's the Taifun drip tip, single O-ring, nice design. Really comfortable in the mouth, that drip tip. So that's the drip tip. So there's your single air hole with the knurling around the outside. I really do like the knurling, and the knurling also on the top cap. So the positive post is adjustable. It's spring loaded with an O-ring, so if you do need to stick it out further, it's not going to be a problem. As all you know, you can, with the Taifun GT, you don't have to empty it like you do with the K-Fun to get to your build deck. So once you take the window off, top cap also comes off. So it's got an O-ring around the top cap, really nice threads, really good, really well machined. It also has an O-ring to seal into the chimney. I mean, the The knurling on the top cap itself is really good. There's your where your 510 drip tip goes. So that's your top cap. And the tank, no writing. Nice threads. So you can't change the tank. If you ever crack the tank, you have to buy the full tank or a stainless tank because they're bonded together. So the threads are really nice. But as always with a plastic tank, be careful not to cross thread it or over tighten it. So there's the tank. And then the deck itself. So the chimney top comes off. Once again, an O-ring to seal it. And then the bottom half of the chimney says Taifun GT on the side. And that drops down to aid in builds and can also be taken all the way off. So that's also got the knurling on. And also the build quality again, as normal from Infinite, very nice. No sharp edges, machined very well. And this one's number 615. But as I always say, a serial number on a clone doesn't really make a whole. It's not going to matter. And then the build deck itself. So there's a single air hole. And this is where it differs obviously from a K-Fun. You've got the tube that comes up which is removable. But when you do remove it, I think it squashes the tube. So as I say, because the atomizer is not mine, I'm not going to pull it out. And then positive and negative screws. And everything's got an O-ring. O-ring again at the base. And an O-ring just there to where that clicks into. So as I say, a whole 5mm. I am really impressed with the build quality on this, really am. And from the videos that I have previously watched, and I think most of us vapors have watched a Taifun GT video at some point, it's pretty exactly the same as the original, apart from you get less tubes to swap in and out. So yeah, these are $29.99 from Angelfiremods. I think everybody at some point should try a Taifun GT, whether it be a clone or an authentic. So yeah, all the threads are really well made. They're not sharp. Everything goes back together really nicely. So what I'm going to do for you today is we're going to do a micro coil and mesh build. So as always, get yourself an ohm reader. So we're going to be using today some 0.35 camphor, which is 27 gauge, some 500 mesh, which I've already pre-burnt, going to be using a 2mm drill bit to wrap the coil. 2mm drill bit. We're also going to need a piece of organic cotton, a torch, optional obviously, and then your range of pliers, tweezers, scissors, the usual stuff. Right, so firstly we're going to take some wire. So we've got some 27 gauge. I'm just going to give it a quick torch, take the springiness out. So that's the torch. 2mm drill bit. And I'm going to do 8 wraps. 1, 2. Now it doesn't matter which way you wrap it on this, just ensure that your leads are going in opposite directions. So I'm just going to put it in the tweezers, give it a quick flame. I'm going to have to go off camera for this one. Right, so there's his micro coil. So we'll mount it on. So take your Phillips screwdriver. Tweezer's still a little bit warm. Now ensure that you don't want to do these too far, because they do go into a disc on the bottom. And all we're going to do, we're going to wrap it all the way around the screw. Tighten that side down. And then same again on the other side. Give that a tighten down. So we'll wiggle these off. I think I'll cut it. So that's a 1.090 ohm coil. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to put it on a mod, give it a fire and a bit of a tidy up. So, got it on the Black Hawk. Nice gift from Steve, so thank you very much, Steve. I'm loving it. I'm going to take some tweezers. I'm just going to give it a nice little fire. And just a bit of a squeeze. So, as you can see, glowing there nicely. From the middle to the outside, that's what you want. So I'm going to sit it back on the ohm reader now. Just give it a little tweak. Now, I'm going to take the chimney section and pop that on. And put the drill bit back in there. I want to make sure I've got the coil height correct before I put any mesh in there. So that's the coil height now correct. And then what you want to do is take your mesh. Now the way I've got the mesh is so that when you look at mesh you'll see lines predominantly going in one direction. So I don't know if you'll see on the camera, but on this they're going horizontally. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run it so that they're horizontally across the atomizer, and then that should help with wicking. So I'm going to take a 2mm drill bit and I'm going to wrap it on that to start it off. Now this is too much mesh, we will be cutting some off, but you want to roll it into a tube. You want to roll it nice and tight. Remember with mesh, you go one way, it goes tight, you come back, it'll loosen off. Right, so we'll see how that looks. A little bit. So we'll give it another bit of a tighten up. So I'm just going to cut a little bit of mesh off of here. Right, sorry for going off camera guys, so I've cut some off and we'll see how it looks then. There we go. That's about right. So we're going to pull it up and then cut the mesh. So it's just poking out of each side. Like so. Hope you can see that. Right, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it back on the panzer and I'm going to pulse it to make sure it's not shorting out. Don't want it shorting out at all if we can help it. So all we're going to do is pulse it. So as you can see we are shorting a little bit. So all you've got to do is just keep pulsing. Let's drop this chimney a little minute. So just keep pulsing until it's nice and even. It's got to work them shorts out. Right, cool. It doesn't usually take this long to get rid of any shorts, but it's going to give it a little tweezer. So still trying to work out the shorts. For some reason it seems to be taking a while. Now you can see the shorts are the bits that are glowing really dark, really brightly, sorry. Right, so I'm just going to give it a second to cool down. So while it's cooling down, I'm going to take some organic cotton and I'm going to make, now most people will use silica or echo wool for this, but I'm going to give cotton a try, see if it helps with the flavour at all. It's really, this is to stop it flooding more than anything else. So I'm just going to take a strip of cotton off, about that long. I'm going to try and keep it fluffy. Obviously I don't need that much. And all I'm going to do is just make it as thin as possible and as even as possible, just like so. So what we're going to do with this, I'm just going to check that that's, I'm just going to trim a little bit more off the mesh. On each side. So that she looks now. And that's what you want. I'm actually going to take a little bit more off there. No, that should now be fine. Yeah. I'm going to put it back on, and all we're going to do with the cotton, just going to lie some over the top. Pull it into the hole like so. Take the chimney, in fact, no. Just going to wet it up. once again, I'm not exactly organised. Seems to be how it always is at the moment. So I'm going to give that a wet up. I'm going to place this on top. It says, there we go. And all you want to do with the cotton then is trim it down to the same length as your wick, like so. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to put some juice in the tank. Right, so what we need to do now, take the build deck, take the base off the ohm reader, tip it upside down, carefully screw onto the base, like so. Put the drip tip in. That's a really tight fitting drip tip as well, no wobble. Just give it a quick wipe. And we'll put it on top of the panzer, just adjust that pin. There we go. Give it a quick fire to make sure we're firing. Right guys, so we'll go back up top. I'll see you up there. Again people, so here we are back up top. As you can see, the Taifun sat on top of the Panzer, looks really nice. Hope the video isn't too long-winded for you or too monotonous, a bit boring. But I really like a mesh build on a Taifun. I've never actually put cotton on top before. I usually use Echo wool, but I thought I'd give some organic cotton a go. So I'm going to take a little vape and then we're going to talk pros and cons. That's really nice. I forgot what the reading was now. It was over an ohm. But not bad vapour production on stock airflow. Needs that tube pulling out. Nice man's throat hit there as well. Right, so let's talk cons. Really, I think there's only one. And that's for all the people that have got 22mm mods. Obviously, it's a 23mm RBA. So something like a Panzer or a King V2, something that little bit bigger, it is going to look better. Right then, so pros. $29.99. It's not breaking the bank. You pay that sort of price for a K-Fun. And as I said earlier, in my opinion, it beats the K-Fun. The flavour. Take the airflow tube out, you're going to get an area draw. So pro number 2. Definitely the flavour then. As I say, I had a cotton build in there, that's a mesh build. Generally on a mesh build, I don't like the flavour as much on a mesh build, in such as a Genesis, like a Kraken. But in this, it actually is really nice. So pro number 2 is flavour production. Pro number 3 is definitely build quality. It's incredibly well built. And yeah, I think I'm going to have one of these myself. It is one of the atomizers that once you get a nice build on there, you'll stick with it. So yeah, sorry guys. I've gone into blank mind mode. I do apologise. It's been one of them weeks for me, but last week. So I'm gonna have a vape and I'm gonna leave you to it. Hopefully the video's not too bad, and I'll see you again soon for another one. So thanks for watching. Hit that like and subscribe button if you want to. Like I say, see you next time.